Boys Bears on the flight. Let me go tune in to Keek on the mic. He gon' make sure we get our news and highlights. When you get on YouTube, you better hit the like.
Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. As always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. First and foremost, Bears fans, I hope you guys are having a very good Wednesday so far. The Chicago Bears are currently prepping for their home game this Sunday against the New Orleans Saints, and there's a lot of intrigue with this game, just knowing that Dennis Allen was once the ex-head coach of the Saints. The Chicago Bears have a big opportunity to win their fourth straight game and get to 4-2. So I know that Ben Johnson and the rest of the Chicago Bears organization are hard at work to continue this streak. But the purpose of today's video, really quick, is to discuss what happened on Monday night against the Washington Commanders in terms of some of the commentary that was said, not only about the Chicago Bears, but particularly quarterback Caleb Williams. As you guys know, I go live during the games, and most of the time I have my headphones in, so I am not usually listening to the commentary. But from what I've been hearing in the videos that I have seen of the commentary of Troy Aikman and Joe Buck was absolutely brutal. Troy Aikman particularly was absolutely harsh towards Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears all night long. It seems that he did not want the Chicago Bears to win, and it just seems that from the comments that he continued to make about Caleb Williams, it seems like he's not a huge Caleb Williams fan. It seems that everything that Caleb Williams would do during Monday night's win against the Washington Commanders, Troy Aikman had something very smart to say. There was even a point in the game after the 55-yard touchdown pass to DeAndre Swift that really got the Chicago Bears back the momentum and got them back into that game, later helping them win that football game against the Washington Commanders. He even made a comment saying the Bears were lucky that play actually happened. The funny thing about this whole thing, Bears fans, and before I go any further, make sure you guys comment your instant reaction on, Troy Aikman's commentary. Just let me know what you have to say in regards to that commentary about Troy Aikman during Monday night's win against the Washington Commanders. The funny thing about this, and this is what I really want to talk to you guys about on today's episode of Keek on the Mic, is that both quarterback Caleb Williams and head coach Ben Johnson actually fired back at Troy Aikman. Caleb Williams basically called out or basically fired back at Aikman via a social media post after beating the Commanders on Monday night. And he just had a series of, pictures in that post, but then in the description of that post, it just basically said, Bears were lucky, and it had like TA that indicates it's Troy Aikman, and then he said whoop-de-doo. So I absolutely love that from our quarterback and Caleb Williams. And then head coach Ben Johnson hopped on an interview with the voice of the Chicago Bears, Jeff Joniak, on ESPN 1000, and that was a topic of conversation. Jeff Joniak just asked him about Troy Aikman's commentary, and this is what Ben Johnson had to say, Bears fans. Check this out.
That's a triple whammy.
Yeah, I think you said it best. I love that perspective. It sounded like from that game the other night, a few people weren't particularly pleased with how we were winning right now. So that's the. I woke up this morning and, my kids were watching the second half before school, and so I heard some of the commentary. But
overall, Bears fans, I absolutely love this from both our quarterback and head coach. I know there may be a lot of people out there that say this may be a little bit unprofessional. They shouldn't be really too concerned on what, the commentators have to say. But I actually love this. I feel the exact opposite. I think this just shows their competitive nature, and we all know that Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams are competitive people. We all know they're doing everything they can that they want to win, and we all know at times that they hold grudges, and they will use this to their advantage, right? They will use the comments that Troy Aikman had to say on the Chicago Bears, or Caleb Williams will use the comments that Troy Aikman had to say about him personally, and they'll use that to their advantage and just give them more ammo for these next couple of games. So I have no problem whatsoever that both Ben Johnson, came out in the interview with Jeff Joniak and had something to say about it, and then Caleb Williams also firing back on social media to Troy Aikman as well. Once again, I am not sure why Troy Aikman seems that it seems that he doesn't like Caleb Williams or the Chicago Bears, and why it seemed that he favored, Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders during that broadcast. But at the end of the day, the way that you shut those people up is that you continue to prove them wrong. You continue to win football games. And at the end of the day, I don't really like the term lucky, because it's really hard to win in the National Football League. It doesn't matter if you win by 1 point or 50 points. It's really hard to get a win in the National Football League. And just like we talked about the other day, the Chicago Bears are winning in many different ways. And as a Bears fan, I just see the arrow trending up every single week. And that is huge kudos to the culture that Ben Johnson is creating here in Chicago. When you're looking at the first 5 weeks of the NFL season, the Chicago Bears are the only team in the National Football League to score 21 or more points. That is a feat that hasn't happened here in Chicago for a very long time. Not only that, the Chicago Bears are currently a top 10 scoring offense in the National Football League. Once again, that is something that we haven't seen here in Chicago in a very long time. So if you are one of those Bears fans that don't believe in Caleb Williams, don't believe in Ben Johnson yet, you may want to hop on the hype train right now, because they are getting better every single week, and they are just now scratching the surface. There is so much work still to be done, but as a Bears fan, that continues to get me excited about the direction that Ben Johnson has not only Caleb Williams on, but the entirety of this football team on. So there just needs to be no letdowns. They need to continue to stack these good practices. They have a very favorable schedule, starting with the Saints this week, and they have the Ravens and Bengals and Giants coming up as well. Those are all very winnable games for the Chicago Bears. But overall, Bears fans, I just wanted to come on here really quick and just give my assessment on what Troy Aikman had to say. It doesn't bother me too much, because at the end of the day, as long as we continue to win, as long as we see Caleb Williams continue to ascend as a quarterback in the NFL and for our organization, that's all that matters at the end of the day. There's always going to be haters, but the Chicago Bears have to go out there and continue to shut up those haters at the end of the day. So let me know down below in the comment section how you feel, once again, about Troy Aikman's comments on Monday Night Football against the Commanders. I cannot wait to hear from you guys. But other than that, make sure you guys continue to hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms, and make sure you share this episode of Keek on the Mic with every single Bears fan you know. But other than that, be back for all new Bears podcasts right here on Keek on the Mic. Thanks, guys, and as always, bear down.
You ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the mic. You can go and subscribe, cause I be on it right. You ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the mic.